Hi, I'm Linda, and I'm going to teach you how to make a folded crimp. When you're making a folded crimp to finish the end of a bracelet or necklace, I like to string an accent bead. In this case, I'm using a 3mm round spacer, and then my crimp bead, or crimp tube as I'm using in this case. They do come in both tube shape and a round shape, but I prefer the tube shape, especially for crimping, the double step folded crimp that we're showing you. And then another round 3mm bead. Then you're going to string your clasp and go back through the round bead and the crimp bead and the other round bead. You want to make sure that the beads have a large enough hole that you can easily go through that the wire will fit through that bead twice, because you are going to go back. Now you can see we've got it through the round bead, we're stringing it through the crimp bead and the other round bead. For sake of demonstration, I want you to be able to see really the important part of the double step crimp. So I'm going to separate these wires for right now. We'll put that other 3mm bead over the tail once we've finished. But as you can see, I've got the two wires coming out of that crimp bead kind of separated. I want to keep them separated, get my crimping tool, hold those wires apart, and use the inside notch of my crimping tool to make the first part of the crimp. As you can see, the wires come out of either side. We've almost formed a little tube on both sides. Then to fold it, you use the other notch of your crimping tool, the outer notch, and you simply press. And that will put those two tubes pressed together. And it's a nice solid hold. Make sure you're solid. If you don't, you have to remove the crimp and start over. And then you'll string your other beads over the end. And then you can trim that wire. And that's how you make a folded crimp. Before you finish the final crimp of your bracelet, and especially with bracelets, though it is also something you can consider with necklaces, you might want to put the bracelet into a circle and then tighten your wire. It can make a difference, especially with larger beads or with beads that are unusually shaped. If you lay it out flat and straight, you may have a hard time making it curve around your wrist. You may need a little space in between the beads, especially, as I said, with bigger beads, where the bracelet can curve naturally. So before you finish that final crimp, just make sure your bracelet's going to curve naturally and not be stiff and uneven.